have decided to make some Iffy Jiffys today. This kind of gets us started into the holiday season without too much stress and trouble. And the kids love these. So I'll show you how to make the Iffy Jiffys. And I'll put the recipe in the description box down at the bottom. Now, I have a recipe for a small batch, but I always double it to make a big batch. So, this is what we need. These are super easy. You can't mess these up. I have 4 cups of sugar here in a large saucepan. I need 1 cup of butter. So, we'll unwrap this and we're going to drop that in here with the sugar. Real butter, folks, not the sort of butter, but real butter. And unwrapping this. Let's get all the goodness out of here. It's been sitting out for a little while, so it's kind of soft. Let me grab something to scrape this off, because I don't want to waste any. Don't waste the butter. Now, that'll be awesome. Got every last bit there. Okay. Next, we need 8 tablespoons of cocoa, which I've already measured out, and it's just Hershey's cocoa. Nothing magic, but it is messy. So be careful when you're spraying that around, it gets everywhere. And then 1 can of evaporated milk. The evaporated milk, not the not condensed milk. There is a difference. So be sure you're getting evaporated milk. And I shook the can. Just gonna pour the whole thing down in here. Now that's the only glitch in using the half batch or the small batch, is that you only need half a can, which is about half a cup. So now we're just gonna take this concoction over to the stove and we're gonna turn on some heat. We want to boil this for 1 minute. So just keep stirring it, and once it comes to a boil, just count to 60 and you'll be done. So let me get this to a boil and let it go for a minute, and then we'll be back over here to finish up, and that's all there is to it. You do need to stir this constantly, otherwise the sugar will stick to the bottom and it won't be pleasant. Still stirring, still stirring. I'm still stirring, just stirring. Okay, we have a boil going now, so I'm just going to be counting for 1 minute and giving it a little bit of a stir all the while. And that's enough boiling. You're really just trying to make sure the sugar is good and melted. You're not actually cooking anything. So, and we're gonna stir that some, let it cool down. Make sure all the lumps of cocoa are mashed out. The butter is good and melted. The sugar has dissolved. Okay, now to add the rest of the stuff, we're going to add 1 cup of peanut butter. And I use crunchy peanut butter because I like the little peanuts in there, but you can use creamy if you want to. And we're just going to put this right into the hot cocoa mixture. These are going to be yummy. Peanut butter in there, and we'll stir that around It's gonna melt really quickly. See, how does that look? Whoa. It's gonna be so good. Stirring, stirring, stirring. Now, the next thing I'm going to add is 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And this is not rocket science. You don't have to be perfectly exact. If a drop or two spills in there, you're good. Normally, you don't measure things over the bowl you're cooking in, because if too much spills in there, you've ruined the whole batch. But a little bit more vanilla could only make this a little bit better. So that's why I did that. But just be aware, if you're making a cake or something where measurement is fairly important, you don't want to measure your ingredients over the bowl that you're mixing in. Okay, so I've got the peanut butter stirred in pretty well. There's a couple of lumps in there. Let me smooth them out, because we have one more thing to add, and that's the oatmeal. And once I put the oatmeal in here, it's gonna thicken up and you won't be able to stir it very well. So at this point, make sure that everything is incorporated very nicely, because this is your last chance. Now, we need 6 cups of oatmeal, and this is just old-fashioned oats, the Quaker oats. I don't use the quick oats. I like the old-fashioned ones because the flakes are bigger. So that's what I use. There's 2 cups of it. And yes, it's getting thicker now. You see how thick it's getting? And then I'm going to pour this in there. Pour a little, stir a little, pour a little, stir a little. Get it all worked down in there. We are just about to have some Iffy Jiffys around here. I'm sure once everybody finds out these are ready to eat, they'll be busting down the door. Everybody loves Iffy Jiffys. Okay, so let's get this oatmeal stirred in here really good. Just go to the bottom, turn it over, make sure all the oatmeal gets in there. Now, how big do you want your Iffy Jiffys? That is personal preference only. You can use a teaspoon, you can use a tablespoon. I have a cupcake or a muffin scoop that I'm going to use. And you can set these on a pan. I'm going to use a piece of wax paper. We're just going to plop them on here, and then we'll let them cool for about 30 minutes, and they'll be ready to eat. Just take a scoop and plop. And take a scoop and plop. These smell so good with that peanut butter. Just scooping and plopping. And they kind of spread out some when you plop them, but that's okay. They're still going to make nice treats. And these are fantastic if you want to make homemade treats to give as gifts for a holiday. These are easy. They store well. Okay, so I'm just going to keep plopping, and then we'll let them cool, and they'll be ready to eat. So thanks for joining me in Mom's Kitchen, and come back again.